talking about a lot about Warner Bros. Being, under the weather of being like going bankrupt or being bought. Like last month, we talked about Paramount like thinking about buying them. Now Netflix is joining the bidding. Like there's other companies joining the bidding, but I want to talk about Netflix because I hate them so much, and I think this would be terrible if they bought Warner Bros. Because they would just what they would do, they would just turn all Warner Bros.
Uh,
Stuff into streaming. So Warner Bros. As a theater, like as like a studio, that's gone. That would be all gone. I think this would be an awful decision. But the problem is, for a fact, if you know for a fact that Netflix can probably outbid everyone besides Apple and Amazon. Netflix can
yeah.
outbid everyone besides those two. So if Warner Bros. Is like thinking if Warner Bros. Is I don't know, shareholders are thinking it from a perspective of like, well, Netflix is, offering us a lot of money, but we, at the end of the day, we're still going to be shareholders. We would make more money off of the theatrical run than just bidding out to Netflix. So hopefully that is in
Yeah.
their mind. And I would rather have Paramount or better yet, Universal try to buy Warner Bros. Because Universal and Warner Bros. Have great relationship anyways when it comes to their theme parks, so they can just integrate more of their IP into the theme park, giving like DC their own land, like part of like the Epic stuff. Like I think that would be like the better option because I don't know what Paramount would really do. I mean, they're probably looking at like we can take HBO Max and make it worse, right? That's probably what they're be like.
They would turn it to HBO Min.
They'll call it
Come on,
HBO
that
Plus.
was a good one. You
They'll
got to
call
give
it
me credit for that one.
they'll call it HBO Mount. There you go.
No, HBO Min,
Uh,
because it's at its maximum potential and then it would be minimum.
Paramount
Um,
HBO Paramount Max.
See, here's the thing that I'm curious about though is one, would this ever get through like a merging, if
Well,
acquisitions, mergers,
I
all
mean,
those types of
if
things?
Salvador, whatever that country's called, can buy EA, I think so. Salvador. Did you hear about that? Like EA being bought
Yeah,
out?
I did. Yeah, I did see EA got bought out for a crazy amount of money.
Of course, they
Um,
would accept that. Like fine. They can mess up EA even more. Who cares? Um,
what I'm interested to see though is what is this? eh, As soon as all these studios and different things start to consolidate, um, it's really unfortunate because then it's like if there are actors or writers or producers, directors, sound engineers, I think is what they're called. Like think of all the people that work on movies, and now you're consolidating power within just a few companies. I mean, you'd have to imagine Netflix is going to buy them out and then just chop a bunch of jobs in an
mhm.
industry that's already being hurt by tariffs and a bunch of other things. So like movie theater numbers aren't good.
Well,
Film
it's
numbers
funny
aren't
that
great.
what's funny about that is that Warner Bros. Has had a great year with box office. I mean, until another battle after another, one battle after another came out, then that broke their win streak. But that is a whole different issue of itself, being political, the marketing not really that being good. And so you kind of just get this, which the film, I didn't hate it. I found it to be entertaining until they forgot about the political stuff, but
Yeah,
it clearly didn't draw enough people. So that
yeah,
film hurt Warner Bros. Even more with this massive, massive freaking um debt that there are in. And so many people are like, so many people are thinking about this from a financial standpoint. It's like, yeah, we need Warner Bros. To find a way to stay alive, let someone else come in, buy them out. I'm like, all right, yeah, I agree. Next, you have that other side. It's like, now get rid of David Zaslav, get rid of James Gunn. It's like, what the f and it's like, what are
uh,
we doing? And it's like, and people don't understand if you get rid of James Gunn and you restart the DCU again, that's the end for DC.
oh,
That's like that kills it.
reboot it again.
No one's gonna go
Just keep
watch
rebooting.
no one's gonna go watch the next film. So it's like why I don't get I never and now we're going to a different rant, but like I never really never really enjoyed Zack Snyder's films besides Man of Steel. Everything else after that were like, eh. But I still wish for the next one to be good, and I didn't want like they should reboot the universe. And it's like people, but I guess because it's not Zack Snyder, it's James Gunn. It's like, oh well,
Yeah,
he used to make these kind of goofy, horny type of films. It's like, okay, yeah, that it was his style, but he has grown a lot. I mean, clearly they're ignoring Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with it being an emotional film. And I can agree that James Gunn can go a little bit he can't always stick the landing. I like Peacemaker season 2 right now. It's not the greatest. I'm not really that invested in the story, and some of the jokes aren't really landing. So like I'm not always loving James Gunn stuff, but as soon as I don't like his stuff, doesn't mean it's like, all right, reboot it. Get it, meh. Like, meh.
so what they should do is they should reboot it again.
Oh, okay.
Only this time they should hire a Rock, not Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but a Rock to be the director, because that would be more solid. Um,
I think they should just sell it to Disney at that point. That's the same exact thing.
I just everybody, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, you just needed to see Austin's face right there on YouTube. It was so just callous, like pause. Imagine like the biggest pause, frozen. No, that was exactly what Austin was giving in that
I'm
response.
comparing
But
Disney to a rock, and they basically are the same quality. You begin the same thing. So, why not? But yeah, so like, did you think this would be a good idea? And if not, who else would you think should buy Warner Bros? Because one thing I know for a fact, if Warner Bros does get bought out, they're not going to restart the DCU immediately, for one, for anyone out there
no,
listening. That's a
no,
dumb idea, for one. The universe just started. It took 3 films to realize Zack Snyder's idea isn't working. So it's going to take a bit more time for James Gunn stuff to start, to see where it goes and see like, is this right for us? And if they can't figure it out by the third film and they decide to end it, you're not going to see another DC. I see. I start
no.
the camera's normally
You
over here. I have to look over here. But like, if that does end up happening, say goodbye to DC. Say goodbye.
I don't think you would say goodbye. I just think that people would
You
notice that it
well,
is
you
a
won't see it.
trash. It is like you're lighting money on fire.
Well, that, but you won't but you will not see another DC universe film for another 20, 30 years because no one will go. You have to wait that long to give people another for people to allow you to get to for another shot for that. And it's just like it doesn't make any sense. And it's like you look at which this leads into the next topic. But so what your overall thoughts on this matter? What do you think this would do for the industry if Netflix bought it? And who else and
Yeah.
who do you think would should buy it?
Well, first off, um, I'd like to see like maybe private equity. I know you hear those words and people go, "Oh." I'd like to hear maybe artists or rich directors, somebody all come together and buy this. I think that Warner Bros. You talked about the feat of pulling off history with 6 straight $40 million openings on numerous incredible movies. So the problem is not the movies, right? Or at
It's the
least not this
problem.
year.
It's from how the past has been has one how previous owners have handled Warner Bros. And it's currently David Zaslav trying to fit course correct, but at the same time is still not doing as a good job. He's kind of dropping the ball, but yeah, it's more about their past than the present.
So, okay. Um, I was actually I was actually methodically bringing up, what I would think. So, I think what you would do is come together, have private equity buy it out. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see a bunch of them consolidate into like I think of like, oh, Verizon bought this and AT&T bought that and Sprint
Yeah.
bought this one and T-Mobile. I'm not interested in that. I mean, we're going to run into that issue where it's like, why are we, uh, like why are we thinking this is a good idea? I just consolidation of that kind of stuff leads to no competition or just consistent garbage. And we're already starting to see that anyway.
Mm,
So Netflix needs to stay in their own lane, not need to buy or acquire or do anything. Now, mind you, this is just my personal opinion, obviously.
I just don't think
And
it would
then
be useful for them anyways. It wouldn't
do they need the studios,
well
intellectual
like
property?
well they get the property stuff, but what does that do for them anyways? They don't make money, they wouldn't make any money off of it.
So it depends. I would have to look at all the logistics, right? Um, I I just don't see. Let's see, brand value. So the things that are mentioned are brand value, content, so like intellectual property or like the different IP for stuff, and forward-looking theatrical strategy. I mean, unless Netflix is interested in releasing their movies in theaters first,
They're
but that
not.
just doesn't seem logical. I
No.
just no,
Like you already have like actors and directors not wanting to work with Netflix because where they only want to do streaming. Like
yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
Daniel Craig is a recent one right now where he's been having a big argument with Netflix. It's like, no, you're going to put this in theaters. You're going to give us more than a week in theaters. And so I don't know. Netflix is on the other side of the court and it just doesn't make any sense. And I think it goes against what Warner Bros. As a company as a whole from the shareholders want because
mm,
they tried the streaming thing, just streaming and doing it directly, and it failed massively for them. And so,
well, they don't. I also think that just creating a streaming platform, you just don't show up. It's not like, oh, we're just here to make a streaming platform. So look, Netflix has something that Warner Bros. Would definitely benefit from, which
mhm.
is just like direct to consumer streaming platform. Um, I just don't care. I don't care for the idea of a merger. I don't think it's good. I don't like the fact that Warner Bros. Has actually had a decently successful year. There's just a lot of things that I'm just not a fan of.
Yeah.
So if you asked me, I would say big thumbs down to Netflix interested in Warner Bros. And let's hope that they don't buy them or try and buy them
Now
or
if
come
the
anywhere near them.
yeah, and now if there was the only option of a buyout, who would you rather see be like the big studios? You would rather see buy them? I think Universal would have a better use out of Warner Bros. Than anyone else, but
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Apple. Apple makes
but
great.
but Apple would also do the streaming thing, and they would forget about
Yeah, but
physical media.
but but Apple makes good content. Like a lot of the Apple TV shows that I've watched and the
Well, I mean,
movies are
yeah,
actually pretty solid.
you got the 17 here, and so like.
Look, like I said, Apple, I think their biggest problem is their content doesn't drop fast enough. So you just be building a pipeline of
But
having,
they already have their own streaming service. They wouldn't like what would they do with Max?
it's not the streaming service. Um it's the idea of like the actual content,
Hmm.
like just incorporating all the content onto their already good platform. You're already keeping people in the Apple ecosystem. So now you have Apple, you have your Apple TV or whatever, and you go watch, the streaming service that Apple has, and now you have, a library of tons of incredible movies because Warner Bros. Makes some great movies.
I mean, yeah, it
So
shows this year
now you're
that
just
they
thinking,
can put out good content.
yeah. So I don't know. I would say Apple. I just don't.
I would go with
Netflix, no thanks.
yeah, I would go with Universal. I don't think yeah, I would prefer Apple because I know Apple would at least do a better job and they would put it in theaters. But then that says goodbye to any Warner Bros. Physical media. So that like that would be like a done deal unless they would do it like 20th Century Fox Disney does with 20th Century Fox where like they're owned by Disney but they're their own thing and they don't really have to listen to what Disney says. And so
Yeah.
unless they do something like that, I highly doubt it. I'm pretty sure Apple would want full control over Warner Bros. And whatever decision that they make. Um
Oh, probably. I have no doubt. Apple is very. Apple's very peculiar about the content and the things and the strategy. So
I
I
think
would
things
have
like
no doubt.
Euphoria would be canceled. I don't think Apple would do stuff like that. And so,
I mean,
do they have
I mean,
extreme content like that?
I don't know, but I mean, if you're buying something that's successful and people enjoy, you'd probably leave it.
Well,
So,
I mean, it's taking them 5 years to make another season, so I don't know if they enjoy it that much. So,
well, I'm just saying, like, there's a huge fan following of that show. So
not
we'll
anymore. The
see.
Euphoria is like Stranger Things with HBO Max. It's like it's like it's been too long. It's like why even bother? So because they all growed up. They have to do a time jump with all the characters while they're gone, like out of high school or whatever. So, but yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts. I think Universal would be the better option because then they can integrate more of Warner Bros. Stuff into their theme parks, and they would still push for theatrical releases, and they would do still more physical media stuff with them. I think Amazon or
Yeah.
Apple, Netflix buying them, that's like an end deal in all in general. So even though I do think Apple does put out good content, I just don't. Apple wants everything under their own control, and that's like I don't want that. Like they can stick to making phones and whatever content they make. So let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to see the full-on podcast, I'll leave a link in the description below. And you guys can also check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like. And if you guys want to, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the topics as well. So leave a comment on it. And if you guys are new to the channel and you guys enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button because we have a lot of other stuff on the channel. As a reminder, this is a monthly upload on the Big Talk with Austin, and this will also give you guys the opportunity to submit some topics to us that happen throughout the month. So if you guys want to do that, go check me out on Twitter and follow me there. Tag me whenever something interesting pops up that is movie reviews, movie TV shows, any like pop culture related type of stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys next review. Bye, guys.